Hi guys, welcome to Knit by Nick. My name is Nick and I knit, and today we're going to be ranking the challenges from Season 1 of Game of Wool. Okay, so I have my computer here in front of me with this beautiful tier list that I have created with all 16 challenges from Season 1 of Game of Wool. And if you haven't watched Game of Wool, go watch it and then come back to this video because this video is going to be filled with spoilers.
Spoiler alert!
We're going to be talking about all the 16 different challenges of Game of Wool, and I'm going to be ranking them in this tier list.
I'm so excited!
And let's keep in mind that I am going to be judging the creations that were made from this challenge or during this challenge. I'm going to be judging the reality TV that came out of it and just the overall all aspects of the challenge. Okay, so the first category is it blocked perfectly, meaning the challenge was amazing. I wouldn't change a thing. Tongue pop. The second category is just a few rows left, meaning, you know, when you're knitting and then there's only a few rows left and like you can see the finish line and it's almost perfect, but not quite there yet. Second category, just a few rows left. The second to last category is at least it's not weaving in ends, because I personally hate weaving in ends. It's not the worst category. It's just the second last. The second to last category. And then the very last category is it's bad. I think that one speaks for itself. I think we're a bit silly today. I was a little bit inspired by the fabulous judge Di Gilpin, who always has some knitting needles on her head. Okay, let's just start with the first challenge on the show. This is the first episode. Every episode has two challenges, usually a group challenge and then a solo challenge. And we start off the show, the first episode of the show, with this Fair Isle tank top challenge.
Fair Isle tank tops.
I know there's been a lot of controversy over terminology and over Fair Isle and knitting with chunky yarn, but this video is not about that. We're not going to be talking controversies, all of that. We're here to talk about the challenges, and I'm not going to be diving deep into these controversies, all the discourse that has come out of the show from the audience. I'm not going to be addressing that. I'm only going to be talking about what I have seen in the show. If you want to know more about like what's going on around like what the knitting community is talking about the show, you can go ahead and listen to this podcast by Cleveley Knits and Tulip Pearl. Pretty good podcast. Go listen to them if you want. After this video, obviously. But okay, so the first challenge, each person, there are, how many contestants are there? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there are 10 contestants. And in this first challenge, each contestant had to make their own Fair Isle inspired tank top, which is basically a vest. And there were some beautiful designs. I thought this was a really good first episode. I thought it introduced the characters really well. It definitely presented the show well to the audience. I clearly understood what the show was about, how the show was going to go. And I was actually really shocked in this first challenge to hear that they only had like, I don't know, from 10 to 12 hours, something like that. And knitting a whole vest in like 12 hours, that's insane to me. I don't understand how they did it. I guess it's also understandable that they're using chunky yarn, like, which is part of the controversy that I'm not addressing, even though I've already talked about it 3 times. They're using chunky yarn, so it knits faster. So I kind of see that maybe if I worked really hard, I could probably knit a vest in chunky yarn in 12 hours. When I first saw the episode and I heard that they had 12 hours to do this, I was like, oh my God, that's impossible. How are they going to do this? And that really makes me question the logistics of the episode itself, because they obviously can't just sit there for 12 hours and like the camera crew can't just sit there for 12 hours filming them. I think that's illegal. So that really makes me wonder about the logistics behind the production of the show. But anyway, I think that this episode I think it blocked perfectly, honestly. I think it was, oops, here we go. I think this episode blocked perfectly. I think a good way to introduce the characters. They had to knit like a motif that represented them. And then there was the whole steeking controversy as well with Gordon.
Time and mistakes.
Mistakes.
No mistakes.
Yeah, I was like, mistakes.
Oh.
By the way, last time I checked, Gordon was following me on Instagram. I have like 80 followers or something, but Gordon is one of them. Okay. I don't know if he still follows me, but anyway, Gordon was a really sweet character on the show. Yeah, there was the whole steeking debacle.
Gosh, he's steeking. And
And that's also another controversy that people have been talking about. So there's been a lot of like talk around this first episode and this very first challenge, the Fair Isle Challenge. But I can maybe make another video just on Game of Wool controversies, because this one, we're just ranking the challenges. Okay, then on the same episode, as I said earlier, every episode had like 2 challenges and usually a group challenge and a solo challenge. So for the second challenge, it was a group challenge. And I was a bit disappointed that they didn't get to choose the groups themselves. They were assigned groups, and that was the case throughout the whole season. They missed the opportunity to create some reality TV drama. The overall atmosphere of the show is very like family friendly, very friendly in general. So there wasn't a lot of like there was no fighting at all. There was a lot of crying, by the way, especially from Dai.
I find this quite emotional. Sorry, because it's just so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I always cry when I see something beautiful.
With how it fits and...
Sorry. I feel quite emotional. I bet nobody else gets like this over knitting.
But also from a few contestants, there was a lot more crying that I had anticipated. But I felt like they created a lot of drama with this like steeking thing, and like they could have created drama in some other ways, like having the characters pick the groups themselves. That would have created more drama. But anyway, the second challenge was to knit this couch cover, like a cover for a couch.
With giant sofas.
I think that this is not the best challenge. I think I'm going to put this one in, at least it's not weaving in ends, because it wasn't my favorite challenge. Oops. Because it wasn't my favorite challenge. I don't really like these group challenges. I don't really see knitting as like a group activity. I don't think I've ever knitted something in collaboration with someone else. So in that sense, it was interesting to see like, okay, they're knitting in groups, and like Dai and Sheila, the judges, they have also talked about how many times they had to knit in groups or like with other people to knit faster, or for like, I don't know, for other purposes. So this concept of knitting in groups for the judges is not completely foreign, but to me it was, and I didn't particularly like it. And I also didn't really like the results. One of the groups tried to do like a sunset situation, which didn't quite look very good.
Finishing the sofa challenge, I never want to see that again.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I thought that the winning team did a good job, but it wasn't like pretty. Sorry, but I don't think it's their fault. They barely had any time to do this, and like the concept of a chunky knit couch cover made by like what, 5 different people. I don't know, it's just not the greatest idea to me. But I think the judges know what they're doing. These women are fabulous.
No mistakes.
You know you want to.
And then obviously Gordon leaves in the first episode, which is really sad. Gordon, shout out to Gordon. As Rico Takeda would say, Gordon, come on the pod. But I guess I can say, Gordon, come on the channel. Okay, and then episode 2, and this is probably my favorite solo challenge in the show, where the contestants had to knit like dog outfits.
And we have the dog jumpers.
And that was super cute, and like Holga won this challenge, and very well deserved.
Whenever I think of Holger, I think of that dog outfit.
Oh, cheers.
No, it was good.
I thought the other projects also looked really good, but Holga was clearly the winner to me. And I don't know, it was just super cute. It was super like, it's something that I've seen people do online, so it's not completely foreign to me. But like, it's also, I think it's a better challenge than making something for a human, because dogs are like, at least the dog that modeled the clothes, like it was a bit smaller. So I felt like, okay, you can knit a bit faster. It also allowed them to not knit something that's like traditionally for humans, like a sweater or like a hat or something. Like knitting for a dog is a completely different like type of work, type of shape, type of pattern. And like the fact that the dog is not used to wearing clothes, and like it moves around and stuff, and all of that was taken into account when they were judging this challenge. I thought that was really smart. So I'm definitely gonna put this challenge in It Blocked Perfectly, because this challenge blocked perfectly to me. And then the group challenge for this second episode was to create mohair jumpers.
We had the 80s jumpers.
Totally 80s.
I would maybe put this in It Blocked Perfectly if it wasn't for what came out of it. I didn't really like all of the sweaters that came out. I really liked the winning jumper, like the winning sweater that came out from this. with the pink and the checkered in black and white. It was like some 80s inspired. I was a bit obsessed with this, with the winning sweater from this challenge, because at the time I was knitting something that was checkered in black and white as well, and I actually unraveled it. Like, at least it was a vest, but I had to, like, I decided to unravel the ribbing around the vest, around the V-neck and the arms, because it just didn't work out so well. But anyway, I was working on a checkered vest while I was watching this show, and I was like, oh my God, they're doing something that's like slightly similar to what I'm doing. But anyway, besides that, I think it's I don't know, it's a bit of an obvious challenge as well, like knit a jumper. Maybe the fact that it's mohair only, or like that the primary material for this challenge is mohair, it's a little bit more interesting, but like it's not like make a dog outfit or like make a couch cover. So I love it. I really liked it, but it's not like hitting the spot completely. So I'm gonna put this fourth challenge, this group challenge from episode 2, in just a few rows left. Okay, wait. A sip of tea. Like, I feel like I always take a sip of tea in my videos, and there's no video that's more appropriate for a sip of tea than this one. Shout out to Stephanie.
Feet up, relax, cup of tea.
Oh, right. And then in this episode, it's Meadow that leaves, unfortunately. She, at some point in this challenge, I think it was in the group challenge, she realized that she was twisting her stitches. And I was like, wait, she doesn't, like, I don't know. It was weird considering that this is Britain's best knitter, and then in brackets, and crocheter, but they never mention crochet, even though there are a bunch of crochet only challenges and that crochet played a huge part in this show. I didn't understand that why they didn't mention crochet in the title, or why they put so much emphasis in knitting, or like in the knitter aspect of the title, because knitting and crochet are two very different crafts. And that's another controversy from this show. Maybe I should do a video on all the controversies of Game of Wool. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you want that. I thought that it was weird that you're in a competition show about knitting and you don't know that you're twisting your stitches. I don't know. I really love the cast of this show. Like, I think they did a really good job picking interesting characters, picking fun people that actually were very creative, had good ideas, clearly like knew what they were doing. But I was surprised by the lack of knowledge from some of the contestants. Like Meadow, for example, like, not that she's a bad designer or a bad knitter or crocheter or anything, but like, I don't know, twisting her stitches was such an obvious thing to me that I was a bit shocked to hear that she didn't know that she was doing that. And then also some other contestants, I saw some interviews with Tom Daly, who's hosting the show. And some people were telling him that they only learned to crochet to get in the show.
You only really learned how to crochet for this competition.
Or that like they're bigger on crocheting than knitting. And I was like, wait, but this is Britain's best knitter? That's when it clearly dawned on me that, okay, this is still a reality show. This is not just a competition. So maybe like being the best at your craft is not necessarily what's going to get you on the show. Anyway, so let's move on to the next challenge. So on episode 3, we had yet another group challenge and a solo challenge. For the solo challenge, Tom Daly brought his friends from the Olympics. I think they were, I don't know if they were swimmers or divers. They were definitely in the water sports universe. And the contestants had to create swimwear for these people.
And we had swimsuits.
So we'd like a striking and glamorous design.
Which was really fun. Swimwear is not easy to make, especially because of the material. People don't usually like to have wet cotton on their skin for long periods of time. So I feel like the choice in material was very important for this. In terms of like a reality show, I think it was cool that Tom Daly brought some other athletes. He is an Olympian, if you didn't know. Anyway, I think it's really cool that he brought basically his friends to model. I'm also sure that most of these contestants probably had heard about these people before, so there's a bit of a, like, oh, I'm meeting someone that's like famous, let's say. I think the choices of models throughout the show were interesting. Like, they had dogs, they had the athletes, they were gonna have children later. They had Tom Daly model the first challenge as well, like himself. So that was all fun and games, you know? Cup of tea, as Stephanie would say.
Feet up, relax, cup of tea.
But, okay, I'm gonna say that I didn't really like everything that came out. I feel like even though the idea of the challenge was cool, the pieces that came out of it weren't like necessarily, I wasn't like necessarily in love with them. And also I feel like crochet or knit swimwear is not like, I don't know, it's not necessarily flattering. So because I wasn't necessarily in love with anything in this challenge, or not at the top of my head, I don't really remember much of it. I'm gonna put this in just a few rows left. Because it was a cool challenge. I like the idea of having like a swimwear challenge, but they could have introduced like a bikini yarn, or like they're more innovative, or like, I don't know. Am I even qualified to be judging Game of Wool? I don't know. This is my channel. So the group challenge in this third episode was to make a deck chair.
Deck chairs.
And this was fun. Tom Daly was the one actually trying out the chairs, which was silly and fun to watch.
Here we go.
I didn't necessarily like all of the designs. I really like Holga's and Isaac's, I think. Yeah, I think they're the pair that made the French fry deck chair. I really like the image that they created with the French fries. I don't necessarily remember the other chairs. I've watched this show a long time ago. It's been like a month since the finale of the show. So yeah, it's been a while since I watched the show. So I'm actually just like doing this basically from memory, which is also part of the tier list, honestly, because if your design was memorable, points for you. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm feeling really sassy with this in my head.
Feet up, relax, cup of tea.
Okay, let's come back. As I said, I don't really like these group challenges. And then also similarly to the couch challenge, it's, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like, you know what? I'm going to change. I'm going to put the sofa cover challenge in like on it's bad. And I'm going to put the deck chair on, at least it's not weaving in ends. I think I prefer the deck chair challenge than the couch challenge, but yeah, let's see. Let's try and finish this video first, and then we can take another look at the categories. Okay, so the next episode was episode 4, I believe. Yeah, episode 4, and it was Kids Week.
And this week was Kids Week.
Di and Sheila would love for you to make a costume to a kid's fancy dress party.
And they had to make kids' costumes for the solo challenge, which was really fun. I think the lion costume from Lydia, that's memorable to me. I think Holga's fox costume was really memorable to me as well. I really like the crayon. I think it's Dipty's. Is it Dipty's? Yeah, I think it's Dipty's crayon costume. I actually really like it as well. I understand why the judges didn't like it, but I thought it was really cool. Maybe it was a bit ill-fitting and like the lettering wasn't that good, but I thought the idea of making a crayon costume silly and stupid, and I like it. I think this was a cool challenge. Unconventional models. It also, like the dog challenge, kids had to like test it. So it's like unconventional models, good results, solo challenge. So I think I'm gonna put this in it blocked perfectly or just a few rows left? Okay, it blocked perfectly. I thought this was really entertaining reality TV. I wish we had seen a bit more drama with the children. Maybe getting the garments dirty or something, or like, I don't know. But for now, it's going to be in it. It blocked perfectly because I thought this was a good challenge. And I think Holga made the best outfit in this episode. Anyway, in the second part of this episode for the group challenge, the groups had to make wall hangings.
A wall hanging for a children's bedroom.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
They had to play this game where you fold the paper like 3 times, and then each person in the group draws part of the drawing, and then when you open the paper, you see that none of the drawings match, and then it becomes this crazy character, essentially. And that was a fun exercise, a fun idea. And yeah, I really didn't like what came out in the second group, or like the group that didn't win. I really didn't like that. The finishing was just really bad. It's just not something that, Yeah, I don't know. I really like the first group. I thought it was a silly character with like the triangle yellow head and then the caterpillar body. And as the judges said, I thought that it was cohesive with the same color in all of the backgrounds. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put this in. At least it's not weaving in ends because I don't really like group challenges, and the results were not. Even though I liked the winning group, it's not something that like blew my mind away. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in. At least it's not weaving in ends. Okay, so now episode 5, I believe it is. Oh, also I need to say that the pictures that I chose to use in this tier list, they don't resist. They're not necessarily from the episode themselves. Like for example, the swimwear week. I just couldn't find a good picture of it, so I just put Tom Daly in a swimsuit. And then this picture for episode 9, for challenge number 9 as well. It's just, it's not from the actual episode. It's just some crochet food. Okay, let's talk about this challenge. Amigurumi, crochet food. Crochet your favorite food.
And we had food.
Ooh.
Cool challenge. A really hard challenge, honestly, especially to be made in like 10 hours or something, like a limited amount of time. Is it? Did I really? Okay, I think I actually really love it. This is the challenge where Isaac made the bagel that splits in half with magnets.
Ooh.
Okay, this one, it blocked perfectly. Isaac, you blocked this perfectly. It was really good. That bagel blew my mind, even though the judges were like, oh, your bacon is not. That's not what bacon looks like. Look at Simon's bacon. It's so much better. Like, sure, congrats, Simon. You did an amazing job with your English breakfast. And also, oh my God, Holga's like bowl of ramen with the sticks. It reminds me of those videos like of people in really cold places where they just put ramen like in their balconies and stuff, and then it's super cold and this like the ramen just freezes over with the sticks, with the chopsticks, holding the noodles. It reminded me of that. In this challenge, I was reminded that they had time to design and think about these projects prior to coming to the show, which also again makes me question the logistics of the show and makes me be a bit more interested in the overall logistics of the show. Like, how much time do they have to prep for the show? Like, at some point, Holga brings his own yarn. I think Lydia in some challenges as well brought her own yarn. They had their notebooks from home with full of notes. So like, you know, how do they prepare? How much time do they have to prepare? I'm really interested in the logistics of this show. I think they could release a little behind the scenes thing. If they have released it and I just haven't seen it, please let me know. I was really interested in all of that. I was reminded of this fact that they had time to prepare prior to coming to the show from this in this episode. And but anyway, props to you, Isaac. This magnetic bagel, it's fantastic. Like, congratulations. Really, really, really impressive.
Ooh.
The next challenge in this episode was a group challenge, which was actually just 2 people, I think. A group of 2. It was a group of 2 people, so a pair. The groups had to make cardigans,
Cardigans.
which I thought was really cool, really simple. I'm gonna put this challenge in just a few rows left because it's what you would expect from a knitting competition challenge. Make a cardigan with someone else. There were obviously other rules, not just like make any cardigan. Once again, they didn't get to choose their own pairs, which is a bit annoying. I kind of wish that they were like, oh, I want to be with Holga, or like I want to be with Elsa, because they're the best, or like Lydia, or something. But that was not the case. They were just pre-assigned groups. So I missed the drama. Maybe that's why this is not in the it blocked perfectly category. Anyway, there was also a bit of a funny moment there with like Elsa's and Holga's red cardigan. Instead of like making sleeves and then body, they decided to make half, like right half and left half of the cardigan, which is a bit unconventional. And when they were sewing together the 2 halves of the cardigan, one of the halves was inside out. And when the judges were looking at it, they had no idea of what had happened. So they were like, oh, this is so interesting. It's like a reversible cardigan. And this adds to the theme of the week, which is texture. And I thought that was hilarious how this mistake actually came out to be one of the reasons why they won, or like one of the reasons that made their garments so interesting. But okay, next episode, I just want another sip of tea.
feet up, relax, cup of tea.
Okay. Next episode is episode 6 by now, I think. And for the solo challenge, the contestants had to make pieces of jewelry.
We had jewelry.
They had to make some other things like bracelets or something, like something for the hands, something for the neck. There were some rules for the jewelry that they had to make. And Lydia's necklace like blew me away. It was so gorgeous. I think she's a really good designer. And spoiler alert, she was in the final. She didn't win. Holga won. But Lydia's spot in the finale was well deserved. I think from the first episode, her tank top was one of my favorites. But the most memorable piece to me from this challenge is Lydia's piece. The necklace is just gorgeous. I actually really liked Isaac's daisy chain necklace and bracelet, but the judges didn't really seem to like that. And I understand it was kind of simple. There was the Viking knitting from Simon. The technique was interesting, but the result wasn't necessarily my favorite. So if it wasn't for Lydia, I think this challenge would have flopped. And crochet or knit jewelry is not necessarily my favorite thing either. So, I think I'm gonna put this in. At least it's not weaving in ends. Okay, by the end of the video, I'm gonna take another look at this tier list and then maybe move some things around. But for now, it's at least it's not weaving in ends. So the second challenge was sort of a group challenge. Wait, is my? I think this. Okay, wait. How does Dai keep her? How does Dai keep her knitting needles on her head? Wait. This is really hard. Okay, I think. Okay. This video deserves a like. Just the effort I'm putting in. Oh my god. Right, so let's go back. This next challenge was sort of a group challenge. And I really want to put this in, at least it's not weaving in ends, because I don't like the idea of the whole group doing the same project. Everyone had to do the same lace project to create this lamp. And the lamp had like, I don't know, a certain amount of sides, and they all had to be identical. And this was a very technical challenge, which I like. I like the idea of a technical challenge. But I don't really like the idea of having everyone do the same thing. I don't think it shows their creativity. I kind of wish that each panel had been different at least, or that they could have, for example, add more drama, like have them pick the pattern. If the pattern had different sides, like different patterns for each side that the contestants could pick, that they could have fought for it, you know, like they could have be like, oh, I want that pattern, or like that could have added a bit more drama, even friendly drama. It doesn't necessarily need to be like drag race drama. The lacing, like lace knitting or crocheting, it's I don't remember. It was knitting, lace knitting. I have never tried that. It looks really hard, and like the pattern that they looked at, I have never knitted something with a pattern like that, so that looked really hard. It was definitely like a technical type of challenge, not really a design creative challenge. It was like a skill. Let's evaluate your skills. I think if you're very nerdy, like if you're a very nerdy knitter, that could have been a cool challenge to like watch. But also Lydia like had a full breakdown in this challenge, but she ended up winning anyway, which was well deserved because of her jewelry. But anyway, I don't know if I really like this challenge, to be honest, this lace challenge. So for now, I'm gonna keep it in it's bad. Even though I like the idea of a technical skill, of like technicality, skill level challenge, I like the idea of that, but I don't know. Let's keep it in it's bad for now. Okay, next episode, it's the semi-final, and this challenge didn't make much sense to me. This whole episode kind of had like a repurpose theme. Let me check what the actual name was. It just says semi-final. Each episode had like a holiday week episode, or like kids week episode, like texture week, but this one was just semi-final, and they had to kind of like repurpose Aaron's sweaters.
Diet Sheila would love for you to refashion old charity shop Aaron jumpers.
And I was like, no. Why are they unraveling these Aaron sweaters? Like, they look gorgeous. Don't do that.
There we go.
Oh, God, no.
I am obsessed with what Holga and Lydia created for this challenge. They made this beautiful dress, which was obviously the better dress from this challenge. And then Isaac and Elsa made something that I didn't really enjoy. I think I'm gonna put this in just a few rows left because what came out of it is actually gorgeous. It allowed Holga to show his genius even more, and I didn't understand why Lydia was getting so defensive or like so trying to like explain or like I feel like okay, I understand that she was trying to like hold her ground and not be overshadowed by Holga.
You got this.
So yeah, basically I don't know why Lydia was so I don't know intimidated or like concerned about people thinking that that was completely Holga's design because she's really good. Like I don't know. I feel like she could have been a bit more confident. For now, this challenge is going to be in just a few rows left because I think the other creation by Isaac and Elsa was not the best. And I was kind of like, I don't know, at this point in the season, I was a bit disappointed that that Elsa was kind of like falling behind. Like I feel like she was really strong in the beginning of the season. And then towards the later episodes, her designs were not as good as in the beginning of the season. So I wonder if something happened there that we didn't see. But maybe it was also just exhaustion, like, but anyway. The next challenge, the solo challenge for this episode, it was to design a bag and to repurpose some material.
We want you to make a bag.
I didn't necessarily love any of the bags. Holga's bag was definitely the best one. I actually really like Lydia's bag as well. I feel like if she had used a different material, that design could have been really good. Elsa's bag was definitely not working out. She used some legging material, which is really stretchy, and it didn't really work out. And Isaac wasn't able to complete his bag. So Holga was the clear winner for me in that episode. I think this is an okay challenge. Make a bag, pretty classic, right? Especially if you're crocheting. Crochet bags are very, classic thing to crochet. I'm not going to say that this is a bad challenge. This is like what I would expect from a knitting competition challenge. So I'm going to put this challenge in in just a few no, and at least it's not weaving in ends because I didn't really like any of the bags. Even Holga's bag, I was a bit like, ooh, not my favorite. But yeah, I don't know if this is me subconsciously trying to make the tier list cohesive. I am a Virgo moon, but let's move on to the next episode, which is the finale episode. And the first group challenge in this episode was basically yarn bombing. And I thought that was really cool. That was really innovative. I wasn't expecting a yarn bombing, or actually I might have been expecting a yarn bombing challenge. But yarn bombing is actually a video that I want to make. I want to talk about yarn bombing. I think it's really interesting. I still remember the first time I saw yarn bombing live. I was expecting a way grander finale, like a group challenge and a finale, and then yarn bombing. I like the idea of making the judges in like amigurumi. That was really fun. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put this in, at least it's not weaving in ends again, because I don't really like this challenge for a finale, but I like what came out of it. I think it was fun to make Tom and the other judges, Dai and Sheila, in amigurumi. But yeah, anyway, and then the actual finale challenge, which is to make hats. The hats were cool. I really like Elsa's hat.
I think I'm probably most proud of the hat. The last episode.
The hat was fantastic. I mean, the way that you were able to construct that and get it to sit the way that it did was pretty special.
I think I'm gonna put it in just a few rows left because I mean, it is a good challenge. We had a good outcome. The projects were nice. But for a finale, I was expecting a lot more. I think I'm just used to like MasterChef or like other reality TV shows where they have like a way bigger finale. But then Holga won and I was pretty pleased with that. I really liked all three of the finalists, so I was okay if any of them had won actually. But yeah, this is the tier list. I think I'm not going to change anything. We have challenge 1, 3, 7, and 9. The vest, the dog, the kid's costume, and the food, and it blocked perfectly. Just a few rows left. We have the mohair jumper, the swimwear, the cardigan, the repurposed Aran sweaters. Actually, I think I might move that one to At least it's not weaving in ends, because that really hurt me seeing those Aran sweaters getting repurposed. And then in just a few rows left, we still have the finale, which is okay. And then at least it's not weaving in ends. We have the deck chair. Yeah, which was fun. It was fun to see them try out the deck chair. Okay, no, actually we're moving challenge 8 to It's Bad. I think, because I didn't really like I don't know, it's just not, yeah, I don't know, it wasn't that fun. And then we have, and at least it's not weaving in ends, we have the jewelry, the bags, the finale, no, which one is that one? Oh yeah, the yarn bombing finale, and the repurposed Aran sweaters. And then in It's Bad, we have the couch cover, which, oh my god. And then we have that one that I always forget, the lace lamp, and then also the one that I just moved, which is the wall hanging. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys like this tier list. Let me know in the comments what challenge you would put in what category. Give me some other category name suggestions. And if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. Share this video with your friends. Comment your opinions. I really want to know. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell notification so you know when my next video comes out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Feet up, relax, cup of tea.